Okay, so question 1. So you have to select all the expressions that are perfect squares. Just as a reminder, a perfect square means that it can be written with the x minus or plus the number, and then there would be a squared on the outside, which means it has to be the exact same thing twice. So you can't have a different positive, like plus or minus, or a 2 or a 3. It has to be exactly the same. So if we look over here, C is the one that's exactly the same. This is exactly what we're looking for. It's the exact same number twice. So that is representing 7 minus 3x getting multiplied by itself. So this is what it's representing. So then looking at D and E, we're looking for the exact same thing twice. D does not work because there's a positive and a negative, like a plus and a minus. So it is not D. E, just looking at it, looks like it's not the same thing. But if you rearrange it and put the x first, which is how we normally would write it, the negative goes with the 2x, so it would be minus 2x. And then this is technically a positive one, so it would be a plus 1. So if we rewrite it in the same order as the second one, these actually are the same. So E is 1 as well. So now going back to A and B, these are the ones that are a little bit more challenging. So we have to figure out if we can write them as a perfect square. So if we use our box method, we know that 9x squared comes from here. And if it's a perfect square, that means I have to have the same number getting multiplied by itself. So the only way to make 9 using the same number is 3x and 3x. So I can't use like 1 and 9 because I want to make it perfect square. So it has to be the same number twice. Then we know the B value comes from when we add these two up. And again, they have to be the exact same amount. So if this is 24x, that means that these have to be split evenly. So 12x has to come from here and 12x has to come from here because it's a perfect square. So if this is 12x, then I have to figure out 3 times what would give me 12x. Well, that would be 4. And if this is 4, this has to be 4 in order for it to be a perfect square. And then 4 times 4 is 16, which is what the C value is. So this is a perfect square. It can be written as a perfect square. You don't have to actually write it as a perfect square. You don't have to do all this work if you have, the shortcut of how you can figure this out. But this is what it would be written as a perfect square. So A works. So then let's try B. So we're going to use the same thinking. So we have our box method, 4x squared goes here. It has to be the exact same number getting multiplied by itself. So 2x times 2x. These two have to add up to 20x. And they have to be split evenly. So it has to be exactly split in half. So 20 split in half is 10x and 10x. So then we're figuring out 2 times what would make this 10. So 2 times 5 would make this 10, and 2 times 5 would make this 10. So that means that would make the 20x, and then the C value would be 5 times 5, which is 25. Which if we look over here, it says minus 100. So that is definitely not right. And the shortcut is if this had a minus, that would automatically not be true, because they have to be the exact same number. So if this was a plus 5 and a minus 5, that's not a perfect square. That's what G did. You can't do that. So they both have to be positive, meaning that this would be a positive 25, or they both would have to be negative, meaning this is still a positive 25. So that's your little shortcut for that one. All right, that's it for question 1.